challenges is it's going to be dual broadcast. And so they're going to be doing their program at the same time we're doing our program. And so I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out, but they've asked me some questions too. They want me to answer some questions, which, as far as I can tell, either come from the Zeitgeist movie or Alexander Hislop, or a mixture of the two. But stuff about the pagan origins of Babylonian deities and stuff like that. Standard stuff that I've responded to from Yusuf Ismail and people like that. The standard parallelomania stuff that is, again, from a historical perspective, has no validity at all. But we will demonstrate that in the discussion tomorrow. Nothing new in the questions at all. But that'll be tomorrow at 1 o'clock our time, which I think is 4 o'clock Eastern time, Eastern Daylight Time. So you might want to mark that on your calendars. I've had a lot of people on Twitter going, "Oh, this is going to be great." I don't know if it will or won't. We'll see. But I felt like it would be a worthwhile discussion. Now, switching gears yet once again. So here is, technically the deity of Christ was thrust in the world by Christ. Well, that's quite true. About an hour or so ago, had a brief Twitter conversation with someone who had called Wright the Vision, King James onlyist. And he was claiming that he was responding to the Presbyterian memes thing. And he basically said, well, the King James Version is the infallible word. Which, of course, that's not what the TR and ER only guys, they recognize making an English translation the standards just fraught with many difficulties. And so I just wanted to ask, okay, so which King James? Is it the 1769 Blaney revision? Is it the 1611? Is it, what is it? I never really got an answer on that. So I asked a question, and it's a question I've asked of a lot of people. And it's one you might want to ask of people. It gives you an idea of just whether they have really thought this through, or they're just sort of a firebrand, which most King James onlyists are. And so I asked him, well, in your King James, because I asked which one, he said, well, my 1983 edition. So it took 400 years, almost 400 years, for the King James to be purified, because your 1983 edition isn't the same as the 1611. And it went through all sorts of differences, and we're talking about inerrancy here. So that makes that the final authority. So what if the publisher of that particular one goes from the Oxford edition to the Cambridge edition next time around? Now it's changed. Which one was the inerrant one? Again, this is why the vast majority of folks who think clearly about these things do not ascribe inerrancy to translations. But anyway, I asked, well, what does your King James read at Jeremiah 34:16? And Jeremiah 34:16 in the King James says, "But ye turned and polluted my name, and caused every man his servant, and every man his handmaid, whom," and then stop. I could grab various King James Bibles from my library, and you'll find two different readings in the next phrase. "Whom ye had set at liberty," or "whom he had set at liberty at their pleasure, to return, and brought them into subjection, to be unto you for servants and for handmaids." Now, why'd I ask this question? Simple. There are two primary versions of the 1769 Blaney revision. Those are the Oxford and Cambridge printings. And the two of them have a different reading here. One has ye, which in King James English is a plural, and one has he, which is the singular. Now, obviously, if you make the King James the final standard over against the original languages, there's no way for you to answer which one it should be. If you're a real the King James was re-inspired in the 1611 type King James onlyist, the only way to know which one's right is to do what? Well, to do what the King James translators themselves would have said, every single one of them to a man, and that is, you look at the Hebrew. And the Hebrew is the plural. So it's ye, not he. So I asked the question. Well, the answer I got back was, well, the he's being taken as a plural. And I'm just like, what? No, it's not. The he, you could understand either a singular he or a ye in the context. So it's not being taken as a, where else is he ever taken as a plural? I mean, it was a non-answer. It really was. It was, I'm just going to dodge this because it's very obvious that my King James onlyism cannot survive a meaningful examination of the King James itself. It was a inappropriate response. I'm actually getting tweeted here. Quote me right. I said I bought it 33 years ago on my way to Bible college, the version that claims preservation, Psalms. It's Psalms 12, 6, 7. First of all, it's not Psalms 12, 6, 7. It's Psalm 12. There's only a Psalm 12, not Psalms 12. It's Psalm 12. It's in the book of Psalms, but it is the individual psalm. It'd be like saying hymns 12. That doesn't make any sense. Cite it right. Psalm 12 is not about the preservation of manuscripts or translations. It's talking about God's faithfulness in keeping his promises in delivering the poor. Read the text in context. It's very, very clear. So which version was it? You never did tell us which one you had. So anyway, okay. Someone's asking me about thoughts on Speaker's Artist at Together 2016. I don't even know what it is. Why would I care? I mean, come on, Andrew. Why do I even care? Am I supposed to be there? If I am, no one told me. So why would I care? I have no earthly idea. Anyway, so then he challenged me, explain why you shall not lie or bear false witness has been removed from Revelation 13:9. I'm sorry, Romans 13:9, when it appears in Codex Sinaiticus. And I'm like, okay, all right. So let's I said, all right, this is useful in being able to, as we've done on the program many, many times before, look at particular textual variants. In fact, I should go ahead and pop up the presenter here and give you accordance